Yan,
Pahawakan
para
ko
kay
dito.
James at sa mga kay Michelle at kay Michelle.
Bakit?
Kasi ang theme nila nostalgia. I have just written a poem that's entitled Remember. It used to be a baby is named after a grandmother if it's a girl and a grandfather if it's a boy. This used to be a simple but the best way of remembering. But slowly, my people are forgetting. Babies are named after Hollywood actors, after saints, after names of politicians. That at the moment I call my youngest brother Jerry, he is just another Jerry. My sister Mega, she is this named after Sharon Cuneta. And another brother Reggie, he is just another Reggie, a short and snappy name, easy to remember, easy to write, and easy to forget because it does not mean anything in our ancestral memory. We have become the generation forgotten. Some of us were not given the chance to remember. Some of us were not given the chance to be remembered. Our Hispanized and Anglicized name, however beautiful they may be, cut a cord and snapped us away from our mother memory. We have become very good and very fluent in English. We have become very competitive that we became the best business English speaker, perhaps something to be proud of. But every time you pick up the phone to utter your spiel, hello, this is Whitney from the Los Angeles Times. May I have your phone number, please, so I can access your account. With all the sweetness coming from your culture you could muster, you anticipate a shouting American, frustrated from receiving the wrong paper of the day. Answer you back with fuck you, and you can never answer back with fuck you too. The words are stuck on your throat like a bitter bile which you struggle to swallow. It churns on the inside. Every fuck you, you idiot. Thank you. Are you a robot? Am I talking to a human? Flows inside your stomach and you struggle to let it out. Let it out your stomach, out from your navel, out from the hole in your navel. Your navel where the cord was cut from your mother, from your mother's mother, from your grandmother. Your grandmother talked in her sleep. She used to wake up every morning to feed the steaming leaves. She would sit in front of the dalikan to warm herself as she chops bila, which she would mix with a tuyo to make angal. You used to watch her every morning doing this, and when she noticed you, she would clear a space beside her to make way for you. You used to sit beside her as she hums, as she sings, while you wait for the rising sun. Your grandmother used to tug you along. She used to carry this bowl made from coconut shell and a few pieces of unhusked and husked rice grains. She used this to call back the spirit of the sick person. Sometimes you wake up from dreams, from nightmares, from headache, from fever, and find something tied on your shirt. Examine it with your fingers, and you know the feel of bagas and irik. And you know this cured you. This brought your apabiig up. This made you well again. Often, the best way to heal is to remember to call back the spirits that are wandering away, because even your own spirit can wander away. Your own kadkadwa, your own apabiig can wander away, and you would feel lost. You would feel sick. Often, the best way to heal yourself is not to forget, but to remember. But my grandmother's coconut shell, as long as it's been oblivious, nothing remained of her rice grains, but memories. Everything was buried with her on her grave, and you are left wandering away from ili to ili, from city to city, trying to find yourself, wondering if you are really lost, or are you really rooted because of these childhood memories. You hold on to these memories to not lose grip of yourself. Memories are your strength. Memories are your strength. Last time, my doctor told me I have a weak lungs, I have to take care of myself. But the city life taught me how to smoke. It's good, especially in this smoggy city. I enjoy every breath. When you smoke, you enjoy every breath you take. You are aware that you breathe. You breathe. Sometimes I remember I breathe. When I breathe, sometimes I remember I'm alive. I breathe, I write, I tell stories, I remember. You have a weak lungs, perhaps even a weak atay. That if I'm a chicken or a pig and my grandfather butchers me, he would be told of no omen. Your grandfather cried when you asked him if you can do a turn. Your grandfather cried because you were the first one among his apostles who asked you to teach him. You were the first among his apostles who asked him to teach you the old ways, even if it was just a joke. He told you, maybe you can only do the ido. You're not married yet. You will learn more when you get married and have children. My future great-grandchildren, he said, "Mandunga ka, listen. Buyang san iyata, you observe. And you watch how they read the atay and you long for the dalong you eat later. Your grandfather has a hope for your future. Maybe you are the next mamatid. You remember he told you this. Remember, he told you this, and you wonder when you can go back home to learn what you need to learn. Because at some point, a bridge was broken, a chasm was left in the open, and you wonder when you can take the leap of faith to cross to the other side again. Because the rosemary you planted in a pot died. The lemongrass you planted is dying. You blame the acidic city soil. Perhaps it was the soil. It wasn't like this when you were younger. The mangoes you planted are now bearing fruits. Your langka is fenced. You used to plant every seed you gather, even the preposterous tamarind seeds, and they sprout. Perhaps it's the soil at home. Perhaps the soil. Perhaps it's the soil at home and you still try to plant. And then you find a job teaching English to Japanese and Koreans, but you never intend to go back to the call center. But some days are good. Some days are good, some days are good. You write, you tell stories, you remember, you tell stories. You remember, Because when the pain of longing is too excruciating to bear, your only way of healing yourself is to remember. It's to remember. Stories is my blood, my chi, my key. Stories made me the strong woman that I am today, so that when I was in college, my professor commented, "That's weird," when I admitted inside the class that I am not a feminist. I am not a convinced feminist. He thought you were because of the strong character you possess that reminds your uncles and aunts of your mother and your grandmother. I was confused, but I settled to the idea that no idealism can ever define me, my beliefs, and my ancestral history. I am made of stories passed from generation to generation, from chance to chance, from mouth to mouth, from salidumay to salidumay, from dayon to dayon. I am made of the stories I inherited. At some point, I still feel privileged because I have a grandfather willing to teach me what I need to know. At some point, I still feel privileged because I have hope. I have hope that my hands are still fecund. I have a way back. In your place, women are the first one to plant the rice stalks. Women are life, and you are lucky you have your grandmother's name. Which was her grandmother's name? Your great-great-grandmother. And your great-grandmother's grandmother's name. Your name is a generation after generation after generation after generation of memory. Your name is the story. I was left with a good story, although not everything in it is a good story. With every story is a hope, and my hope is that all of us should remember while things change, while we still can. I tried myself. I tried to remember, because remembering is the better way of bridging the chasm left behind by colonization, benevolent assimilation, globalization, militarization, crime, and the changes of time. Because remembering is the better way to heal ourselves from the pain we derive from the question, who am I?